Once again, good evening, everyone. We do apologize for the unfortunate technology interruption we had in the meeting. We were just completing our review of the project at 4012 South Ellis. Now, for Donna and Doug, were there any final determinations you wanted to make regarding that property or any concerns before you move on to the next project?
Donna, do you have anything?
Yeah. No, I don't have anything. I think it's a pretty good product. We've seen Alex in the community in the past, and he's done remarkable work, and his work really stands up. And the fact that it's all masonry is a plus plus. I know a lot of people think that we're going to have more cars and congestion, and that's just one of the biggest concerns. And so, you know, if you live on a block already that's congested and people come with 2 cars, even though we're hoping to have younger people who are using Uber and walking and riding their bikes, the likelihood might be they might come with 2 cars. That's my only concern.
And with that, all I have to say is, you know, I'm echoing what Donna said about, you know, Alex being a kind of a longstanding worker or architect for a lot of things have gone up in the community, and those projects or those buildings still have stood the test of time. The last question, Ivan, can you tell me when you intend to break ground?
Sure. So we're just waiting to get our letter from the alderman and apply for the permit. So that's, you know, we're anxious to get the project going. So as soon as we'll work with Alex in getting the permit, and then we're anxious to get it going when the city approves the plans.
Set of drawings like 90% completed, and we just have to choose contractor, get a early access letter from alderman, and we are ready to go.
Okay. Well, thank you guys. That was a good presentation. You know, I know there's a lot of questions, and they're very considerate and very serious questions. And I know that if there are some skills that live in the community, they may have a chance to at least interview for a position for maybe labor or carpentry. But, you know, Alex knows how that works, and we support what you've shown us tonight.
No, thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Doug. Thank you, Donna.
You're
thank
welcome.
you, Francis.
All
Thanks,
right.
Alex.
So thank you. So for the next project we have up is 1018 East 46th Street. Perry, are you on now so you can begin your presentation?
I'm here, yeah.
All right, if you could, everyone, please share your video. I know we were disrupted for a minute. All right, so Perry, if you can go ahead and begin your presentation and have the discussion about what your project's about and what you're attempting to do.
Okay. Share screen.
And Perry, don't forget to introduce yourself and let people know who you are, who you represent, and your relationship to the property.
Okay, I'm not really good at this Zoom. I don't know if anybody could see my screen yet.
We can. We can.
You can?
Yes.
Okay. All right, I'm Perry Castellino. I've been a builder and a developer in Chicago since the late 1980s. And I have a lot on 46th Street. It's at 1018 East 46th Street that I'm looking to build a single family house on. This is a lot here, lot number 4.
Can you select, you have to select the picture for people to look at, but right now we see the thumbnails.
Yeah, I'm not sure how to do that. I have it up on my screen.
Can you make the pictures larger, Perry?
If I knew what I was doing.
You know what, Perry, I can assist you. So let me, I'll share my screen.
Okay.
And I'll show the presentation, okay?
All right, sounds good.
All right, so take your screen down.
All right, how do I do that? Is it down? Stop share, okay.
There you go. So this is the project, correct?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. So go ahead and describe what you're trying to do again and what's involved.
So there was a subdivision in the 1890s of 3 lots here that are narrow. They're 16 foot 9 inches wide. Out of the 3 townhouses that were there, the one in the middle remains. I'm trying to add one on the alley side, single family house that is in keeping with the architectural style of the surviving row house that was there. Buildings that are 15 or 16 foot wide are fairly common in this neighborhood. If you're in the 4500 block of Ellis, there's a whole bunch of row houses that are 16 feet wide, interior 15 feet. So this, this is a viable house. I own a house on the west side that's 15 feet wide. I know that this is a marketable and desirable kind of home. And we're just trying to get this built.
And Perry, let me show the other floor plans so people they can see what you have planned for the building. This is the first floor, is that correct?
This is, yeah. So this is a single family house and it has an auxiliary dwelling unit in the basement. And as you could see, this says 15 foot 0 inches as far as the width. So that's what we're planning to do.
I see. And then the next slide you have, this is the second floor.
This is second floor of the house, yeah.
Okay. And this is the third.
And then in keeping with the height of the other buildings, we added a third floor, to tie into the adjacent building.
Okay. And then this is a finished basement in that property as well.
Yeah, this is the auxiliary dwelling unit in the basement.
Okay. So these are the project plans. These are the sketches you submitted to the office. So you have brick or kind of stone masonry wrapped around all of the property, correct?
It's wrapped on the 2 visible sides. It's on the front and the alley side. The rear and the east side of it would be, a fireproof material.
I understand. So with that being the case, I was just helping along with the presentation, but I'll give it to Donna and Doug so they can ask questions from the council for the committee.
Okay, so is this a private lot or a city lot? Prentice?
I've owned this lot for 15 years. This is a lot I've owned for quite a while.
Okay, so I know you said the structure basically is a structure that exemplify the structures already on the block. But when those houses were built, they were built simultaneously at the same time. So the sister house is no longer there. So the house that's next to your structure that you're talking about building already has jagged pieces from the sister house. Have you talked to the next door neighbor? Because you're going to be right next to that house building. So wouldn't that cause some kind of disruption to their building?
Not at all. It will not disrupt his building at all because we're required to stay 1 foot 8 inches away from the property line for a side yard. He is not interested in me extending the facade to make this look like connected row houses. So I'm just going forward with as of right 15 foot wide building with a side yard.
That lot is not that big. I've been to that lot several times and looked at it, and I'm still trying to visualize how you're going to put this structure up. Plus the garbage units, are they going to be able to get into the alley to pick up the garbage? Can emergency vehicles get through that alley? Because you are right on the alley.
I'm right on the alley, just like every other garage and structure on that alley along Ellis. That's a 16 foot wide alley, which is a normal to wider alley in the city of Chicago. I'm gonna have space. I have a 145 foot deep lot, so there's plenty of space to put the cans in the yard and not in the alley for my project.
Right. So the structure that is east of you, they have all of their direct TVs hanging off. Plus, like I said, they have brickwork from the sister house that no longer exists. So have you talked to the owner, and does the owner know what you're planning to do?
I have talked to him for many years about this. He knows what I'm planning to do. And I don't know, it's no business of mine what the party wall in his building looks like. That's his wall to deal with. I'm not going to connect to it.
Okay. So you said you talked to him years ago. Have you talked to him recently?
I have, through email.
Through email. So is the owner on? It would be nice if the owner was on this public meeting so we can hear from the owner, but I know this is a private lot.
I don't know that he has much to say about me building a house with right of zoning on this lot. I'm not gonna touch his house. I'm gonna be a foot and a half away from it. It's like any other lot in the city of Chicago that a neighbor builds next to you.
Okay, Prentice, DPD, what do they have to say about this structure going up and the size of the lot?
My contact to DPD was concerned about the setback requirements. So it was not a given that they said this can be built. We're verifying that now. I believe Perry has a different contact, says something different. So I'm working with the city to verify what is correct in terms of what setbacks are necessary for this lot. But you're correct, this is a very, very, very tight lot. And I was also concerned about some of the same things you mentioned in your conversation with Perry right now.
What's
Okay.
that?
Okay, Doug.
Well, I mean, the old appraiser in me looks at this and all I see is functional obsolescence. Are you going to spend more than this thing's going to be worth at the end of the day?
Are you talking about my construction budget?
Yes.
Well, I would never do a project that costs more than it is marketable.
What's your budget? Can you divulge that?
To build a house nowadays, it's about $450,000.
And that's what you think it's going to cost you to build on that lot. And how much of that budget is extraneous to the extent that it's going to require very careful, like excavation, things of that nature, because of the fact that you are so tight on the boundaries there, that there are some inherent dangers to cutting in an apartment building or a basement next to a existing structure.
Right. As long as we don't have our footings set lower than the footings of the neighbor, we will not cause any structural damage to that.
You have to shore it up.
Okay, so
You need shoring if you're going deeper in the
Absolutely.
adjacent structure, and we're not planning on doing that.
okay, so basically what is your ceiling height going to be in that basement? 8 feet, or is it going to be taller?
8 feet.
8 feet, okay. And the picture that you showed, it looks like the existing building there, but it has a rendering of a brick wall on the side. Is that supposed to represent what you intend to finish the side of your alley side of your building with? Modular brick?
They want a brick that is similar to Chicago common brick.
So a face brick basically in size.
Yeah.
Okay. I agree with Dawn. I think that it'd be important to speak with the neighbor next door just to make sure that that person is aware.
He's well aware of what's going on, and he's not very friendly about it. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, well, he should have an opportunity to air his concerns about it. I mean, I misspoke when I said aware. I think we should hear about his concerns and his fear of what that could do to his building, or Didn't appear that he had any windows on. Quite unique, and the size of it on the interior, once you're finished, if you're already staying 1.5 foot away from his sidewall on a 16:9 lot, so you're, you know, the inside of that thing's going to be what, roughly 14 feet, really.
And I own a house that is 15 feet wide on the outside, on the west side of Chicago. I've had tenants in there for 15 years who have been very happy there. So it's a very livable house.
Okay, well, I'd like to just say that I'd like to hear from the neighbor, and I'd like to hear more from the Department of Planning before I had any final thoughts.
Well, I had an opinion from Department of Planning, and they reiterated that I needed a 1'6'7" side yard on the east side, and that leaves me 15 feet. So it's a buildable lot, and
Well, that's before the walls go up.
that's 15 feet outside to outside.
So Doug, what we can do is have this project come back before the committee and have the neighbor make sure he's in the audience, and also have a definitive opinion from the Department of Planning about this project. So we can
Well,
take, or
Dennis, I did send you what planning said about this. Did you not get that?
no, I did receive it, but there is a different opinion from a different official in DPD. The official you mentioned is somebody I've never worked with in the past. So with
Okay.
that, we're going to table this for the next meeting, so we can have a more informed discussion and have a well-rounded, I should say, discussion about this project going forward. So with that, we're going to table it for now, Doug and Donna, and we'll bring them back before the committee in the future.
Thank you.
All right, the next project we're going to go to is 920 East 43rd Street. So could that project team introduce themselves, and then we'll get started on that presentation.
Sure. Hi, I'm Lisa Pilot. I'm with Dom Properties Investment. I'm one of the project managers. We also have Marcin, who's the developer, on the call, as well as the architect, Andy. We are proposing to develop 32 units at that location. 4 1-bedrooms, 15 2-bedrooms, 8 2-bedrooms with 1.5 baths, 5 bedrooms with 2 commercial spaces. We have 26 inside garages on the inside and 9 parking spots for outside. Thank you, Andy. As you see, we will have hardy board as well as brick is what we're proposing to put on the building. All the way around. Andy, do you have renderings for the other side as well?
Hold on for a while. Let me find. And I have just a black and white. Just the black and white. Where's the screen? Okay. It's this one. All right. Can you see that? I just have a black and white version. It was just playing.
Thank you very much. And you can explain that, Andy. So we have
also on the back we have a brick and hardy boards, hardy paneling, black windows, balconies, and pretty much that's all.
surrounded by, obviously, we have landscaping surrounding the whole parameter of the building as well. This project was introduced, I believe 2 weeks ago. Was it 2 weeks ago, Prentice? I believe it was 2 weeks ago as well. We didn't go into detail. However, it was brought back to our attention that we needed to go into detail of what we were proposing, which is why we're here today.
Absolutely. So Lisa, can you also share the floor plans and just kind of describe the layout and the floor plans for the project?
Absolutely.
I'll
I'm
do
sorry.
that. I'll do that. This is the typical second, third, and fourth floor layout that contains 11 units, mostly 2 bedrooms with one bedroom apartment on the front. So this is typical layout for the second floor, and third and fourth are the same.
Andy, I don't see the layouts for the floor plans. I only see the exterior shot.
Oh, okay. Right, so hold on. What about now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you, Andy.
So that's a typical layout. 11 units on each floor, mostly 2 bedrooms, one bedroom unit per floor. Whole building contains 33 units, and the first floor contains 2 commercial spaces and garage, 23-car garage. I'll just let me find it. I'll show you shortly.
I thought it was 26. Marson said 26.
Oh, no, it's 23 plus bicycle spaces.
Got you. Okay.
And okay, I'll have it.
And before anybody else mentions, we are having the garbage containers will be inside. Isn't that correct, Andy?
I mean,
Confirm that.
it's outside. The trash enclosure is outside by
But
the alley in a corner right here. Can you see the
Okay.
third floor right now?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So on front we have two commercial spaces, and on the back garage area. Like I said, 23-car garages, 23-car spaces, and some of them are outside, and the trash enclosure also.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So with that being the case, Donna and Doug, would you like to go into the questions?
Okay, so this is this is a private sale or city lot? Private sale?
Private.
Okay, so this is rental, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay, and you said how many 2 bedrooms and how many 1 bedroom?
So we have 8 2-bedrooms with 1.5 baths. We have 15 2-bedrooms with 2 baths. We have 4 1-bedrooms with 1 bath. We have 5 3-bedrooms with 2.5 baths. And then we have 2 commercial spaces as well, Donna.
Okay, so what are your price points when you talk about your 1 bedroom? What's your price point?
Well, it's interesting when you speak about price points, as we spoke previously.
Yeah.
1 bedrooms are going for $12.50 and up. We have not decided yet. Marson always speaks about some affordable housing, in our project. So, $12.50 for 1 bedroom.
Now, when you say 3 bedrooms and we're talking about maybe we're looking at younger people, students. So if you have a 3 bedroom, say it's going for $3,000, will you let them sublease like that in a rental apartment?
I haven't spoke about that yet, but we're not opposed to it.
Okay.
Yeah. I understand that, especially you have the University of Chicago down the street. If you have people like that, my bedrooms over here where I live at 4315 are 3 bedrooms. And these are single, people or married couples who occupy the space here, So the answer is yes, Donna.
Okay, yeah, because I'm looking at your 15 2 bedrooms with 2.5 baths, and if each one has a bathroom, that could be a unit that 2 students could split.
Absolutely, absolutely, which makes sense, absolutely.
So we're just looking at the influx of more people coming into the community. So you have retail space at the bottom. So how many retail spaces do you have? And what type of parking will those retail spaces have
Two
available?
commercial spaces, and you know that this project is right next door to Haven, right? As you know, which
Right.
is Norman's space.
Right.
So, you know, good question. I mean, Norman has a parking lot right next door. I mean, we can, you know, speak to him about that, you know, if we needed extra space for commercial. But I mean, there's enough space up and down Drexel.
Okay.
Norman's Bistro has to deal with it too, right? All the rest of the commercial spaces. So, you know, how can I answer that, Donna? You know, being realistic and being honest, right?
I'm just trying to be the community advocate. When
Amen. And I get that. I
start
understand
talking
that.
about congestion. We don't want to look like the north side, but we do want the amenities of the north side.
Hey, Donna, on 43rd, I have Terry and Michelle right next door to me.
Yeah.
On 43rd, sometimes it's packed. You got, you know, Harry Lennox coming right next to me too. We're all going to have the same issue, you know? So I guess we have to try to work it out. We have to figure it out, you know, at some point. Maybe we need to build a parking garage around here somewhere, you know?
Yeah.
You know, that's maybe something that we all should consider as well, you know? So.
Well, that part is on the city of Chicago with the parking.
Yeah.
So we don't have any control over that.
Okay.
Now, one other quick question. So are you gonna have a rooftop deck at the top, or is it just gonna be a flat roof or a green roof or something of that sort?
And I will turn that question over to our architect.
Yeah,
And
the roof is prepared for the rooftop deck. It's not on the plans, but that's the future. There are 2 exits, so everything is ready, but it probably depends on the budget at this time. I don't know.
Sorry.
Actually, but everything is ready for that.
yeah.
Okay, Doug, I'm turning it over to you.
Okay, thank you. I saw a comment in the chat and I tended to agree with the question, which is, you know, it's a rather, you know, flat front. And I was looking to see if there was any consideration with regard to maybe putting like a, you know, not a balcony, but something over the first floor retail spaces to, you know, keep the rain and the snow from falling directly on the sidewalk, and maybe some sort of movement in terms of a cornice around the top of that, just to give it a little bit more personality. You know, it is a modern building and there's nothing wrong with that, but yeah, just a little bit of, you know,
To separate
an overhang
the
to just
commercial
protect.
from the residential.
That's possible,
Yes.
but since the front wall is sitting on the property line, we'll have to get special approval from the alderman to encroach the front yard setback. That's possible, that's future, but we'll have to get it in addition to.
So what you're saying that because you're building to the exact city, you know, lot line on the very front, which is the sidewalk, you need a permit or special permission or an exception to put some kind of a covering over the windows?
Exactly. Also the balconies, that requires special letter from the alderman, approval letter.
Yeah, I agree with not having, you know, balconies over the front. I prefer them on the side as you show them, just looking for a little bit more, you know, personality to the front of the building, especially just to protect the sidewalk, if anything else. And then who's going to manage this property? It's internal to you, Lisa?
We're in the process of looking at a management company as we speak to manage both properties, the one on 41st as well. So I will definitely let you guys know who we pick to manage the properties.
Well,
definitely.
that can be, Well, that's a big thing because, rentals are, there's plenty of them around, and 43rd Street is kind of a commercial street. So having that component secured, would that rental management company also manage the retail spaces or just the apartments?
The whole building.
Okay. Any preliminary ideas for retail space in the front there? Do you have any interest that you've heard about?
Yeah, it not just there and the other commercial spaces as well. Yeah. So there was a woman who reached out to me who wants to do a paint winery sip kind of thing. Another person reached out for a flower shop, another which is needed. So I have a listing of different prospective tenants who could occupy these spaces.
Okay. And then if everything goes with approvals, what is your estimated groundbreaking date if you have one?
Well, groundbreaking immediately.
Okay. So you
we're
guys
just
are
waiting
funded?
for our alley access letter too, so we can
Okay.
get the permits and get going. Yes, so
Okay.
we're ready. We are ready
are
like
ready.
tomorrow.
Okay.
Mr. Kiefer, yes.
Okay, understood. And those colors, are those representative of the colors? Can you just state those colors for us again?
Okay, so the brick will be a dark gray and the paneling light gray. Black windows, black balconies and guardrails. And also there's this limestone around the windows and on the bottom. So that's it.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, I'll turn the questioning over to Kertrice. Go ahead.
Doug, you handled the question in the chat about the overhang, and there's no additional Q&A.
We do have one hand raised by a participant. Would that person like to go ahead and ask a question? Ms. Zigwa, Mr. Zigwa?
Oh, sorry. Yeah. So my question, I'm an architect, so my question was more to do with the setback item that was just discussed. Again, even with the tenants you just mentioned, having gone through COVID, a lot of people tended to like the outdoor dining. So was there the thought of setting back the first floor to at least allow some seating or outdoor space on the outside? My concern becomes kind of the canyon effect of our streets as we put buildings right up on them like this. The upper levels can be fine, but kind of we lose that ground floor, that human space, because everything's right on the street. If you say a wine customer wants to use this first floor, sorry, a wine store or something.
No, it's an inside painting where you sit and you paint on the inside and sip wine.
Okay, I
On
apologize.
the
I
inside,
heard wrong.
not the outside.
Okay, I apologize. I heard wrong.
That's all right.
But my point was, a lot of, especially after COVID, we learned that we like these outdoor spaces because they give us that feeling of being outside. This street is maybe not as outdoor seating. It doesn't work out as well for outdoor seating, but is there that thought of at least setting back that first floor a little bit to allow a better feel of that sidewalk when people are walking, tenants are walking out of that business, and you don't automatically jump into the busy side of the sidewalk. On the facade itself, it was kind of what he mentioned about kind of the flatness of it. So providing some kind of dimensionality is something that can, again, get rid of that canyon effect, because at least if the building tapers away or something, we can at least not have on the sidewalk and a solid blank wall right next to you. Those are just my comments that I had that I was thinking about.
Okay.
There is also a comment that a cornice would help the frontage since there's no modulation. There's also a question that that there were problems with the 41st Street property ground breaking. What is the plan to mediate those problems at this location?
And then she comes back there was no plan for rat abatement in place when the groundbreaking occurred. That's what she's speaking about. And I'm referring to Lisa. Well, Lisa, you know, there are rats everywhere. You know, these are issues that everybody is dealing with, not just over here, you know. And so the city of Chicago did their abatement. And, you know, I mean, the city has to come out and abate as well.
Actually, Lisa, I've been told that each construction site is supposed to have a rodent control plan for the excavation of any sites.
That is correct, and that was not
Okay.
in place per my conversation with Superintendent Garrett for that particular location. So while the response seems reasonable, it actually was not reasonable because those plans are to be in place prior to excavation beginning. And it
Well,
was
I will
not in
say
place.
this, we will make sure that that is in place. And Andy and Chris and I will definitely make sure that's in place.
Hello?
I don't see other questions.
Okay, I think that is it for the evening. Doug, Donna, are there any closing comments for this project before we close out?
I would just like to say I appreciate everyone coming to our first public meeting, which Catrice and Adivsory will probably give you guys even a better closing statement. But as the chair of the development team, I really appreciate this opportunity to work well with you guys. And the projects are looking good. And we have to remember, we are coming out of COVID. And we want as many projects as we possibly can so that our community can shine like we know.
Amen. Amen. Thank you.
Just want to say thank you to all of the developers and architects and project managers, and to the Alderman's office, especially Prentice and AK, for putting this together and put out another pitch for the North Kenwood Oakland Advisory Council. We are community engaged. It's a two-way street in terms of getting information and giving information. And so we really are excited and look forward to seeing you guys at just meetings, but also giving participation and help on the council.
All right.
Thank you very much, Catrice.
And I do have a question in the chat box about whether or not all the recordings will be sent to all the participants. We will endeavor to do that. I think now, unfortunately, because of the technical difficulty we had, is broken up into two parts. So we'll be uploading in two parts and place them on the website. And then we'll work to make sure we send an email out to all people that register so we can make sure they get the copy of the presentations. So with that being the case, I thank you all for joining us tonight. Thank you for being patient with us. And thank you for enduring the technical difficulties. And we look forward to seeing all of you in the future. So once again, good night. And actually, hold on a second. We have Miss Chanel, Akia Chanel with the 2nd District. She put in her information in the chat box. So in case you have any concerns, you want to get involved with the 2nd District's efforts in the community, please reach out to your office. They're really good. And Akia has done an excellent job with organizing neighbors over the last couple, I think, Akia, you've been on for a year now?
Since July of 2019.
2 years, it flew past, but Akia and her team, Sergeant Walter, are excellent people to know. And we strongly encourage you to get involved with your beat meetings so you know about the public safety concerns in the 2nd District. All right, so with that being the case, we'll close out. Everyone have a good evening and we'll see you in the future.
You too. Thank you very much, Prentice and Alderman King.